Hearty welcome to all of you. In this video, we are about to see how to frame or write the introduction part of a research paper, which is an essential part which attracts the readers. Very first, it is to attract the readers such that they can understand why the topic is very important for them to go through the entire research paper. Next, in the introduction part helps us to understand the preview of the research work such that it connects the knowledge gaps to our study plan, and it will help us to fill the knowledge gap, and also it will help us to make clear what is known and what is to be unknown to date. And most probably the best part is to make them in 3 paragraphs, not more than 3 paragraphs is the best part. It can depend upon the paper you are writing. Coming to the flow of the introduction part of a research paper, very first one is the context. Here, what is the problem? Why you are supposed to write this research paper? We have to explain in few lines. Means we can say that contextualization of the entire work in simple sentences. Next one is the earlier methods. For the particular problem statement we have placed before these lines, we have to mention here what are the existing works related to this particular problem statement, and also what are the solutions, what are those points to be identified, and keep them in a very brief manner. And later we have to give a simple solution of our proposed methodology in simple 2 or 3 lines later. While we are mentioning that one, we should not forget about the research gap. In other words, we can say that we might have identified the research gap by means of the limitations of the previous works, the gap what the earlier researchers have left us for doing, and what the best solutions or what the best ways we can go for the particular problem in a simple and best way, like subjective wise as well as objective wise. What are the things we can go ahead? We have to mention in simple lines in the research gap. That is, it can include the limitations and disadvantages and the demerits of the previous works also. Next one, we have to mention what is the research question. Already we might have prepared some research questions for our problems. What is the purpose we are going for this entire work? That research question, or in other words we can call it as hypothesis, we can mention here in simple lines such that it can attract the viewers to further go throughout the entire paper. Similarly, later we have to mention the objectives of a research work, and as well as the research paper, what we are going to do in this entire paper. It must be in context with the problem statement that has been already stated, and what are it is with respect to our solution. Are we going to prepare a new concept or new method or new system completely, or else it must be like how we are going to do it in our, it will be good if you have 2 to 3 objectives for a research paper. Next, at the end, we should be able to understand what is the approach we are going for. Means here we can mention in the last lines of the introduction the implementation methodology. Means what are the equipments, what are the tools, what are the data set we are using here, what are the specifications of our work, and what is the methodology we are mentioning here. In simple and brief lines, we can mention in the approach of the final part of the introduction part. This is how the introduction part of the research paper can be prepared, and it is not limited to these methods. But if you follow these lines like context, earlier methods, proposed solution, research gap, research question, objectives, and approach, if you put these points in your mind and start preparing a research paper and mentioning according to your problem, if you start writing introduction part, that introduction part will make the readers attracted towards that and make them to go through it. Even when you submit it, the journals editors and reviewers, they will go through it and they will find these things are available in that paper or not. Once they find they are good and well available, they feel that the acceptance of the paper is more than rejection. That's why it is better to follow these simple guidelines to prepare the introduction part of the research paper. Thank you for watching our video. If you like our video, kindly share our videos and subscribe our channel to encourage us to prepare more videos in the near future.